Good afternoon, YouTube. Drew Franklin here, Tyler Thompson, Nick Roush, Zach Gagan, 4 different locations. Looks like all of us are home, and Nick is at what's formerly KS Bar up at the KS office. Feeling good up there, Nicholas?
Well, toasty. It's the dog days of summer. This is fall camp. We got to get ready for the hot Saturday in Texas in week 3, and this is how we prepare for it.
Well, if you are hot and want to get ready for the dog days of summer, which are wrapping up, why don't you go out and get you a Country Boy Brewing, our sponsor here at KSR's Happy Hour every Thursday at 4 o'clock, presented by Country Boy. They're founded in the heart of Kentucky by true blue Wildcat fans. Check out the original brewery and tap room on Chair Avenue with 24 beers and ciders on tap. There's something for everyone. Or try the new Country Light from Country Boy. Great after mowing beer. Only 95 calories. Got to watch those. 1.8 carbs. Perfect summertime brew. Grab a 6-pack at Kroger or wherever you can find your Country Boy. Shout out Country Boy. Anybody partaking before we carry on? Tyler's always boozing.
I'm always boozing. Down here in Nashville, I gotta maintain. Zach's got a V8 energy drink representing the over 60 segment of our audience.
My fruits and my veggies. I get a half serving of each in both of these. Energy drinks are terrible for you people. I'm trying to. This is only half as bad for me, so I'm healthy.
Well, let's focus more on what's in Tyler's hand. Which one do you have there?
I have the Cliff Jumper today. So it's a little heavier than I like to go in the summer, but when we got the news that there was not only an open football practice, but an open basketball practice today too, it felt like crossover season. So I brought out a November beer. It's their IPA. It's delicious and refreshing, and I'm looking forward to enjoying.
Yeah, well, as you sip on that, why don't you all save some energy? Come on, everybody, let's save energy. It can be good for your home and your wallet, and with rebates from LG&E and KU, you can upgrade to their qualifying energy-efficient equipment that can pay off even more. You might be eligible for rebates ranging from $250 to $1,650 on equipment such as your AC unit, gas furnace, heat pumps, water heaters, all the things. Learn more about the residential rebates, lots of R's there, program by visiting lgne-ku.com/cashback. Upgrade your home, save energy, and get rewarded with LG&E and KU. Shout out to our sponsors. That was a mouthful there. I got a little tongue-tied. I could use a Country Boy right now. I'm not partaking. I have just a little bit of water to get through the day. But as Tyler noted, it's been a long day. We were going in separate directions. Going to start with you, Nick Roush. You were just over at Kentucky football practice. They pulled back the curtains for the media and a few select guests, but we're still figuring out how much we can say. Is that my understanding?
That's correct. So, the new era of Kentucky football, there's a lot of different things. One, we're going to get good quarterbacks. Haven't seen that in 15 years. So that's very exciting. But there's also a lot of small, minor changes, and some of them have to do with us, just what you can, what you can't do. So today's practice, they typically open up one for the media to take pictures and shoot video, especially if you work for TV. If you're going to talk about somebody, you need video of them running around, and there's 50 new players. So this is their opportunity to get video of that for what we call in the biz B-roll. So we're not really sure exactly what all we're supposed to talk about. And here's the other part. It was 30 minutes. Most of that they were stretching, right? Like they're stretching. They're like doing little drills where they just throw it 5 yards and run. Like there's not a whole lot of discernible differences. It's not like basketball where you're getting a 5-on-5 scrimmage, right? And you can actually take something from it. But it still is. I never cease to be amazed watching the DBs just run around. How their athleticism is just off the charts. Like Aaron Gates in particular, the Florida transfer who played nickel. He's been injured a lot of his career, but the people down there talk about him as one of the best athletes, just pure athletic talents they've seen. He just wasn't able to stay healthy. And yeah, saw that today. He's a damn good athlete. So that was one player I had my eyes on. The offensive line, like they're just enormous. One other change too, at previous practices, those who know Tom Kalinowski, TK. He's been the equipment manager for, I think since Freddie was playing, right? And he would always, when they would switch drills, he always would have the megaphone just like, just telling them what to do, and you couldn't really hear it. Well, now Will Stein, he has a microphone, and it rained, so we were inside the Nutter Fieldhouse, and whenever he talked, it sounded like the voice of God just speaking directly to you. So loud, came through crystal clear.
If you're scared, go to church.
It was very amusing towards the end when he said, "Media, you have 10 seconds." It's like, oh, get the hell out of here.
Better hustle.
I'm afraid to ask you for too much detail, but one question that always comes up, especially with media day, not just at your practice today, but there's always who the hell is that guy looks test when we get down at field level at media day. Any newcomers that just kind of took you back? It seems like there's always a couple every year that just look like monsters unexpectedly.
So I have a good and bad. One of them you all know. Willie Rodriguez, that guy, he just – if I'm making a football movie in 2026, I don't care what his acting experience is. I'm signing Willie Rodriguez to that contract. Like, he's just central casting football player in a football movie. I mean, I don't know if Tweeter would be the proper because he's a little bit crazier, but like this guy, he just looks the part. I mean, dude is yoked. And you can really say that about a lot of the tight ends. I mean, Michael Skinner is just a crazy, impressive athlete. At times I'm like, was that a receiver? No, it's actually a tight end that was in there. So that part, like the tight ends look great. The offensive line, obviously enormous, huge. I will say I came away with one takeaway that it was damning for a newcomer for Kentucky football. I'm incredibly worried, and I'm only being halfway, somewhat sarcastic. I don't know if Matt Ponatoxi's got it. I know it's bad news. You don't want to hear it, but he has a visor, and quarterbacks don't wear visors. I'm sorry, like unless you're Mike Vick or Lynn Bowden, like you just can't. Sorry, like quarterback can't wear a visor.
What do you got against visors? I don't get it.
Did you see Flacco go on this rant on Netflix?
Yes, I did. Because what do you need a visor for? I mean, I guess maybe you could get a hand up in their eye and gouge, but like you're going to jail if you hit a quarterback in the face. Like you're not going to get hit in the eye. So
is it so they can't see your eyes? Is that the idea behind it? Like a defender can't see your eyes?
Yeah.
No, it's a swag thing because it's not tinted either. It's clear. Like, what do you need?
Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe he's kind of got a baby face. Maybe he's trying to hide a little bit of the baby face to look a little more intimidating. I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
I thought you meant he was walking around wearing a visor like a hat.
I did too. I was like, what's wrong with it? Like a hat visor. Yeah. I wear them all. He's proud of his hair.
It's just the swag. Like I want my linebackers to have cowboy collars, and I don't want my if you're a receiver, visor. Like all of the wristbands. Like let's do it. But quarterback, a little worried. Hey, the other kid, the Canadian guy, he just looks like a quarterback. I don't know what it is, but just the okay, let's go Canada. Callum Wither, let's go.
Name your favorite Canadian quarterbacks.
Well, I tried to come up with a list during Rapid Reaction on Monday, and I know ones that played in Canada, but I don't know if they were like Warren Moon wasn't from Canada. Doug Flutie wasn't from Canada. Really good in Canada. Terry Wilson cutting his teeth in the CFL. He got another contract. But yeah,
Diego Pavia, he's there now, right?
Oh, good for Diego. Good for him. Doesn't have to wear those ugly gold Vandy uniforms too. Those are bad, right? Can we all agree on that?
I don't know. I got to see him in person. It's really hard to tell from the studio picture.
Which means it can't be that good if you're having
you got to see him in the sunshine. Like if they're too close to like skin color, it's going to look really dumb, right? But then if they're bright gold, metallic looking, it's going to look dumb too. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the all gold look. If it was like gold with black pants or vice versa, maybe. It's a lot.
It fits on the color wheel for Billy's wedding. It's kind of fits in that caramel camel look too. If it didn't want to go completely gold,
I was thinking more of if the guys who just decide I don't need to run to the bathroom. I just can in my pants. It would be fine for those guys too.
People still do that.
There are a lot of those.
I know Schlereth used to. We had a kid on my high school football team. It was a very memorable moment when he just pissed his pants.
I've done it in the press box during overtime. Overtime against Ole Miss a few years ago.
Well, Southern Miss when we were at the lightning delay. You never knew when the game was going to start.
Nick, you also wanted to brag about snacks today. Let's tell us what we missed.
Okay. You have the orange slices at halftime, right? Like that's a very, that's Little League, whatever it may be. That's nothing new. The part that I was walking by as they were getting ready for, I don't even know if there was a water break, if they could just come up, because there was never, that's the thing about Wilstown practices too, is they don't really stop. It's just bam, 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 on to the next thing. But they were getting out trays, and the aroma of pickles is what drew me over there. And I started looking.
Okay.
Those little snack cups, that are about yay big that you would dip sauce in, between pickles, grapes, oranges, a huge spread of fruit that you could pick from. In addition to that, if you're just like, I just need sugar. I got low sugar right now. Fruit snacks, applesauce pouches. I mean, my kids, they would have been in heaven. But also
No
Rice
cakes?
Krispie treats. No sissy
Rice
cakes.
Krispie treats.
Okay.
What?
Okay, I get a little sugar.
So I think for the Rice Krispie, it's if you're actually hungry because, it's kind of filling.
There's sustenance.
Right. And there's a lot of carbs. So you're getting all the sugar, but it's not like really weighing you down. So I saw all those snacks and I said, you know what? I got to make a Sam's Club run because my snack game, it's off right now. We gotta get the closet pantry correct.
Well, pickles I get because that's for hydration, right? Because who was it? Was it the caller Rose who used to tell us about pickle juice when people would get cramps and stuff? That I get. I still can't imagine just getting a little snack cup of pickles during a practice and just throwing it back. I hate pickles though. I am all the way out on
Yeah.
pickles.
Oh,
So,
come on. Pickles are the best.
I'm all the
do
way
it.
in on pickles. I'll still drink pickle juice.
Oh,
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
no.
I'll drink some
Salt in
pickle
there.
juice with you. How many of those snacks would have been an NCAA violation a few years ago?
Oh man, I
All of them.
think I would be in NCAA jail right now just for talking about it. Which different. There's all of it is different to get used to because it's new and we're trying to you want to get off on the right foot. You don't want to come in and list the starters and this is going to happen and that's what's wrong. But just being in there, seeing everybody run around, hearing the sleds get hit. There's a bunch of NFL scouts there watching guys fly around. It's fun. It's an impressive group of athletes. I think I stopped at like pretty much every position group except the defensive line. But like the receivers look good. Like Shane Carr is bigger than I expected. He talked about in the spring how just getting a real weight program and training and nutrition program, he put on like 15 pounds almost immediately, and he looks really good. And I also thought he was like smaller too. I mean, he's every bit of 6'2". Like he is a good looking wide receiver. And Jakaden Ferguson is very similar, where he's just, I can see it. That looks like an SEC receiver. So Logan had his most recent hot take was, we're a little worried about the receivers. I think they're going to be fine, and I can see they should have enough. Stay healthy. You got plenty of weapons to work with, plenty of young weapons to work with. So just let the scheme do its job. Let Kenny Minchie do his job. He's on point. That guy, not a lot of balls on the ground. So that's always good to see. You don't like when the ball is bouncing around on the ground. Kenny Minchie, he's hitting guys right in the breadbasket. So it's exciting. It's first day of fall camp, the first of many. It's going to turn into a slog at some point, Drew. I'm going to run out of stuff to write about because it'll just be the same old thing. But the slog starts today. People were fired up. The offensive line room, those guys, they're just all just juiced to the gills, man. I know Sloan really sets the tone in those videos with the 2 claps and a woo, but Warmack, like they're all just, they get after it. They're getting after it in that offensive line room.
Tyler, are you excited that they announced a Meet the Team Day, which is not a fan day, but a day of meeting the team? People ask me all the time, how can I meet the team? Well, guess what? It has its own day now, April 15th, Saturday. What is that, 9 days away? A week from this Saturday. What do you think about that news, Tyler? And they're being a little secretive of what all could entail, but I assume meeting the team will be a big part of it.
Yeah, the fan day, not a fan day. I think it'll be great. We have very little details about it right now, but it will take place on Saturday, August 15th, and at the Nutter Fieldhouse, and that's all we know. So we do know that Kentucky's supposed to scrimmage. That's supposed to be their second scrimmage of camp, right? So
First.
Okay. I very much doubt fans will get to see that. I hope they get to, but it seems more like an autograph, shake hands, get pictures kind of deal. So whatever you can get, I think fans will latch on to. I think it just seems like the trend of fan days has kind of gone away in recent years. So it'll be interesting. I'm curious to hear more details. There were this was a BBN United practice today too, right? So were there people there like for BBN United fans? That's kind of cool.
Is that a big turnout?
Probably 50-ish, give or take. BBN United fans there. There was one guy that had a Stein Time chain on, which I'm like, oh yeah, this guy, he's all the way in.
He's the guy that's on auto subscribe, auto renew. Like, don't even call me. I'm in.
I'm
Take
good.
my money.
Well, like when I was a kid, I remember going when it was Jared and Shane Boyd were the main attractions at Fan Day, and that was when it was just autographs. So at some point they integrated practice and autographs together, and then with NIL they took away autographs. And I know, guys, they can have their own card deals and autograph deals, so they have to limit how much their autographs out there. So I have no idea what exactly it will be, but I'm glad they're just doing something, right? Like you're asking more from fans, you're asking them to be in BBN United, asking for season tickets. So I'm glad they're doing something to throw them a bone. I don't know what it'll be. And also, $30 Lower Levels for the opener against Youngstown State. That deal.
I was surprised when I saw that was lower level tickets. Like, I saw they were promoting it as $30 tickets. I was like, oh, it's probably going to be upper level. No, lower level tickets. So get in there.
Yeah, that's freaking sweet. Get on it.
Zach, we haven't gone to you much here, but you went to UK Football Media Day. Did you have anything that stood out to you on the football end before we get to what you did this morning?
I'd say my biggest takeaway was how big some of those offensive linemen were. Especially Malachi Wood was just like, it's when you see these kids and when they're seniors in high school, especially a guy like Malachi who was just tall at like 6'7" or whatever he was, 6'8", and now he's like looks like an actual SEC offensive lineman. That was one of my bigger takeaways of just his body transformation. Like Nick said, Willie Rodriguez was huge, standing next to him. Colton Price was like an inch taller than me, but like has probably 80 pounds on me. So a lot of those guys were just huge. There was a couple of guys I remember at Media Day that said that they kind of said the quiet part out loud. They snuck in it was time for things to change, and with the coaching transition and all that, that kind of stuck out. And then the general vibes were high. I mean, I'm sure they're always high at these sort of events where everyone's happy and ready to play and ready to put the pads on. But that was. That stood out pretty quickly with pretty much all the guys that we talked to, especially a lot of the returning guys. It felt like they were especially jazzed up about the new era and getting ready to take the pads or put the pads on and all that. So I was planning on going to open practice today until we had a whole schedule mix up at about 9:15 this morning, thanks to one Mark Pope. But I don't have too much to add on the Football Media Day stuff. I will say, Nick, you mentioned Shane Carr. I hear this guy's name once a week now. It feels like he is. Am I just hearing his name a lot because he has a fun name to say, or is this a guy that's actually going to be like the real deal McBeal this season?
I think he has a chance to be legit. He's one of those guys who played all of the sports, so he didn't get recruited. Nowadays, you can't play all of the sports; you get penalized for it. I think it's bullcrap. But that's a personal opinion. But so he just kind of flew under the radar and gets on at an FCS school, and they were kind of a run first team, and he was their best receiver, and he still ate in each of his first 2 years. So the good news is that he has multiple years of eligibility. So like there's we could see some good this year and then some great the following year, because as far as athleticism, he has it all. It's just how agile can he be, getting open, getting in and out of breaks, that sort of thing, I think will be put to the test in SEC play. But I'm very bullish on Shane Carr. I kind of was from the jump. It was one of those, like, I'm gonna stand on business in the portal that this guy's going to be good. And everything we've heard so far has made me look smart in that regard. So I'm a big Shane Carr guy. I know I've got to dip out here soon. I'm going to let you take the reins on all the basketball stuff, Zachary. But I did want to mention something because 5-on-5 is on the board. My general feel, just what I've talked to people at the football program, like you heard Stephen Daly at Indiana. They said that he's going to come back. But I think everybody is not like making anything super official because nobody really knows what is going to be allowed to happen or not. So like I think we're just kind of stuck in a holding pattern while the compliance and everybody tries to figure out what exactly they can do. So there hasn't been anything else new on Alex Safari. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that they're working on the behind the scenes stuff to turn that into reality. So I wanted to add that 2 cents before I dipped out.
Well,
I'm
and
glad you
also,
didn't
while
leave
we're
without sharing
talking-
that.
Yeah, while we're talking football, Crawford is in the chat, and he was there taking pictures for us today. So check him out whenever he gets those up. He shoots awesome awesome pictures for us, so you can see Shane Carr and all the guys we've been talking about. So shout out Crawford.
Yeah, love Crawford.
Nick, before you go, your interview with Will Stein, that was fun. I like the direction you all went. It's pretty.
Oh yeah,
Gotta be nice having a guy that'll get into the weeds with local Louisville Catholic football, and I mean, just whatever you all threw at him, he was into it.
We'd make the one of us joke a lot because like somebody will drink a beer and you're like, oh, I drink beer, but like we were like all these people, we grew up in the same circles, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like if one of the guys that you played ball against or with growing up is now the Kentucky head coach. So that part of it is cool. But also, like it was
scouting report. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Peake's dad coached him at one point, which it's very funny to imagine a world where the Peakes they wear their emotions on their sleeve.
They're passionate family.
So like I like imagine telling Mr. Peake 20 years ago that this guy he was coaching, he would be cussing about over the phone with his son for his play. You know what I mean? Like so that part of it's cool. And it was like the thing that is nice about Stein too, when you're not in one of these press conference settings, is like you can just kind of like nothing's really off the table. Right. So like you can ask him about fourth downs or build, and he'll just talk about it and like be pretty straightforward with you. So like it was good that we were able to talk about stuff that everybody's asking about Kenny Minchie 1,000 times, right? So it was nice to sort of deviate from the norm and get them to open up, and also just piss off Louisville fans. I think we gave Louisville radio 3 days of content. I mean, they haven't stopped talking about it over there. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Louisville radio.
Steven just commented, I love when Steven chimes in. It just comes from the KSR logo, but that is Steven. He said it's so weird that Will is the coach. Feels like it hadn't settled in yet. Holly also, I believe it was Holly, said she liked Stein's scouting report on Peak. So that was a lot of fun. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet for Media Day. Roush, go do what you got to do. We'll get into our other topics, and thanks for joining us with a football update, even though we're still figuring out the guardrails on what can be said and what can't be said.
Well, I'll see you all around, fellas and lady and everybody, and bye.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
Godspeed. Roush is actually leaving because he wants to go to Parlor Pizza. Our other favorite sponsor, Parlor Pizza and Pints. Can't forget the Pints is your family's go-to spot for award-winning pizzas, wings, and of course the best game day destination. The crew loves the pizza. The jalapeno bacon and chicken combo is delicious. I love the hot honey pepperoni. I think that's Jack's favorite stew, and of course the pepperoni bombs. Now they got a happy hour rocking Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 for discounted pints, cocktails, and starters. And if you haven't heard us mention it before, they're now open in Richmond. They got the one coming along in Lexington, out my way in Hamburg. You got Harrodsburg Road and multiple locations in Louisville. Check out Parlor Pizza and Pints.
Are we gonna have
Nick
frozen
still up
Nick?
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You'll see this.
Yeah, that's great.
I hope he just stays there like this at this point.
I
It's kind
know.
of fun.
Whatever. Don't try to fix it, Steven. Leave us with. God. I looked away to. I wanted to actually do the ad read instead of just fumbling over words. So I wasn't looking. When I came back, he had this like face. He's like, I think that's right where I left him when I looked away.
Oh,
All right, for the spontaneous part of today, shortly after 9 a.m., 9:05-ish, 9:10-ish, Mark Pope went live on Instagram and invited people to come watch his basketball team in Rupp Arena. Said he'd open the doors at 10:30. gave a little more than an hour's notice for anyone that wanted to travel in. We had a caller come in from Bracken County, I think, A County.
Yeah.
But people made the trip, including Zach, one of the first ones over there. Perks of being local here. Before we get into the actual basketball practice, just what was the scene like as people, I think you're one of the first ones there, you just kind of see the wave coming in on a Thursday morning downtown.
Yeah, I mean, well, I woke up as my normal Thursday routine is wake up, write the morning post, kind of figure out, I have the website tonight. So I was like, let's, kind of figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. I'll write some more volleyball posts from the media day, maybe do some more women's basketball stuff since I'm doing more on that beat as well. And then I just pop onto Instagram, and I think it was like 9:10, 9:15. All of a sudden, Mark Pope's live. I said, all right, well, let's see what's going on. Let's record it. And I guess he was on for about 2 minutes, and he gave very little details or instructions. He just said, hey, if you want to come watch us practice, show up at 10:30, and we will let you into the door. Here's where to come in on High Street. So immediately, I think Jack said on the Rapid Reaction that he was in the shower when the news started going off. So he took a very quick shower, hopped in his car, and headed down to Shelbyville, or from Shelbyville to Lexington. So I made my way over there quickly, parked a block away, and there wasn't like I probably got there around 9:45-ish, something like that. So a little bit beforehand, I was there was only a couple people in the building when I got in. Like I didn't see anybody around. I was like, I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I was expecting 1 million people, but there was like you said, maybe a 90-minute like heads up for fans to actually go down there. So quickly though, very quickly, people started to flood in. Like our friend Maggie Davis showed up. You had a lot of TV people showing up. I know there was a couple of fans that were there that declined TV interviews because they may have taken an early lunch break. The classic 10:30 lunch break that you always do on your Thursday mornings.
Started getting hungry around that hour.
Yeah, real hungry this Thursday morning. So definitely some people that were cutting off work to go and check out the cats. But there was some talk of 100-person cap limit. That was not the case. I think there was 300-400 people that made their way down and actually poured in. Like by the time they let people in, the line was almost flooding outside of Rupp Arena. So the crowd was actually pretty impressive. And we walked in and they were already doing their they were just going right into it. Like they're doing some of their stretching and everything. And then we sat down and it was right to it. Like, I don't even remember if Mark Pope like addressed us or not. Like we just all sat down and all of a sudden they just started going. So, I don't know what I was expecting. I will tell you, I was not expecting like a 90-minute full practice session that finished with 3 games of 5-on-5, like where they were deciding, the summer wins leader and everything. Cause this was the last practice of the summer for them, or like, NCAA rules and all that. So I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. So before we can dive into all the details later, or in a second, but big shout out to Mark Pope for letting us come in for that. Big PR week for him, I think, going to Wheelers, having this open practice like this. They didn't give us any like guidelines or regulations on what we can post and everything. So we just started taking as much video and posting updates and everything as much as we can. And it was nice to finally be able to get to actually sit down and watch the product as opposed to just having to go off practice clips, whatever Mark Pope is tweeting out on a random day, or, the intel reports. Like to take all that stuff and then compare it to actually see it with my own eyes over the course of 90 minutes was very, very enlightening. And it was, one of the cooler experiences I've had. Drew, I know you kind of showed up later. I wasn't listening to the radio show, but I was looking at my phone and I was like, it's 11:15 and the radio guys are here. So I don't know how that all worked out for you guys, but it was a blast. So we can dive into the details here, but I'm curious how you all did the radio with that, Drew.
Well, we decided, we'll just go on a cycle. Like Ryan, you got 10 minutes, run back. So when Ryan got back, we only had about 30 minutes left at that point. So Matt and I went at the same time and then came back for the last segment. So it was just,
okay.
We're just down the block. We did a little revolving door to get over there. I agree with you. It was awesome that he did that. It stinks for anyone not local. I mean, you could really only be in Lexington and maybe a county or two over.
Shelbyville,
but obviously,
as far as you could go.
If he had promoted this with 12 hours notice, they couldn't have done it. They might have filled the place. So, it stinks for people that weren't in the radius, but still very awesome. He did it. And I'm with you, Zach. I thought it was going to be like a little ceremonial, wave. This is our team. We're sending them off from a fun summer, but they were going hard. That was a full practice. I only got to see about 10 minutes, but what I've saw, and we'll get down to like player breakdowns, but I didn't expect it to go as hard as it was, and fans really locked into it. So it was a nice treat. Tyler, as Zach said, there wasn't really rules on coverage. I feel like just scrolling Twitter, I saw the whole practice anyway, so I'm sure you're still up to speed as well. But I can only assume you thought it was awesome Pope to do that too.
Yeah, like it was very spontaneous and just it made for a really fun morning as people's reports would come in on Twitter, listening to you guys on the radio. Jack says we've got about 5 minutes of highlights coming to the YouTube channel, so be on the lookout for that. But it was one of those, it felt like we were all in it together kind of moments. You know, it was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And first, shout out to Zach for being on Instagram right at the minute that Pope went live, because that was huge. You were able to get down there very quickly and make sure we had a spot. But yeah, I just felt like things were unfolding. It was really exciting. I love that Pope did it so spontaneously and through just a random, social media platform. It wasn't like there was this big, blitz across all platforms or emails or anything like that. They didn't even tweet
about it or anything, did they?
No, it was just his, and he's made connecting with the fans a priority recently. And I think that was a great example. So I thought it was really fun. And like you said, we've heard about this team all summer, and finally you all got to see them and kind of compare what you've been hearing with what you were actually seeing. And I think we'll talk about the standouts here in a minute, but a lot of the little things that we had heard of this summer that were clicking with the team that you were like, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily have guessed that. You all got to see on like full display today. So it was very cool. And I'm a sucker for the whole like producing on the fly kind of thing. We were doing it with the website and board. You all were doing it with the radio, like having Ryan and Mario go down and, God bless Ryan. He's like, well, I got to go to the bathroom first. It's like just typical Ryan. And then like the videos that Mario was putting out of you all going back and forth were very cool. It felt like a whole unity moment, everybody was bought in and excited, at least for just one morning. So I thought it was really good. I had a lot of fun, even from afar.
Yeah, it was great. I loved the show kind of getting off track too. That's my favorite.
That's always the best part.
Favorite stuff we do when we wing it.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, there are a ton of comments about how everybody loved this morning's radio show. So yeah, I think it went over really well. So shout out to you, Ken.
We got to the elevator. I mean, we hadn't even left the iHeart building yet, and I thought, do we think Ryan's already out of topics and rambling about nonsense?
He did a good job.
Like a minute. Yeah, I have no idea what he said. I know Goose called in. I missed that.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I never actually found out completely what happened there. So you were listening. What did happen with Goose? Because I was running the route.
Goose apparently got shushed. Mark turned around and shushed him during the practice and told him to be quiet. And so Goose heard Ryan say that because Ryan saw it happen and called into the radio show to talk about it. And he shared his thoughts from the practice. But just that alone, having Goose calling into KSR is always fun. He does his practice reports for UK Sports Network, and they're great. But just having him connect with KSR again has been fun. To kind of take people behind the scenes, it's been a good couple of weeks. Like we're bonding those bridges, so to speak. And I think today was a good example of that. So, but yeah, Goose getting shushed by Pope.
I saw that. Pope. I think I didn't know it was to Goose, but I do think someone mentioned, maybe it was Maggie. Was like, I think he just shushed somebody. But I did see Goose down there. I did not know that Mark Pope was shushing Jack Goose Givens. That's kind of a funny little bit there.
Yeah, very cool that he called in. Let's get to what people care about, though, not radio shows and phone calls. What actually happened? I want to lead with Zach Jerome Morton being recognized at the end for being he was the leader in wins the entire summer, right? I wasn't there for this part, but explain exactly what he won and what that meant.
Yeah, so I guess I don't exactly know what qualifies as a win, and I don't know if it's all 5-on-5 based, if there's drill based stuff in that too. But all I know is coming into today, the final summer practice, Jerome Morton and Malachi Moreno were tied at the top of the leaderboard. I think it was 55. They both had 55 wins coming in. So this was like, I think Mark Pope even teased something last night on Twitter saying, hey, like, this is the final day. Like, we're wheeling in the whiteboard to Rupp Arena. We should have known then, I guess, that something was up when he did all that. But then, so Jerome Morton came away. I guess he ended up with 7 wins today. Malachi ended up with 3. So Jerome Morton was the official summer wins leader with 62 wins. So he was on the blue team with Mason Williams in the backcourt there. And those two were probably two of the bigger surprises of the entire practice session, at least just from our eyes. But Jerome Morton, Mark Pope gave him a little congratulatory moment, telling the fans to applaud him. Jerome waved to the fans and everything. But, aside from just the being the wins leader, like he was impressive. I don't know how much he's going to be able to contribute offensively. But I think defensively, he's going to be a very important piece off the bench of a guy that can come in and really defend well against whatever guard is coming in for the other team, whether it be their starter or their backup. He ripped Zoom Diallo a couple times in the half court, went for easy layups, just plays really hard. He's one of those guys with the dog mentality, was hitting some open shots during the drills. So I think that's a perfect role for him. Is you come in and make open threes and play hard defense, you're going to have a role on the team. But he was definitely, he came in as the wins leader today, or tied for the wins leader. So I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a one-off thing today where Jerome Morton just looked good today. Like I think this is something that's probably been brewing all summer long, where he's been a guy that's been helping out in practices and has really stood out. So, we're trying to look at through this as the lens of this was only one practice. So, but some of the summer intel stuff we heard didn't seem like Jerome had been one of the better players. But looking off the wins list and what we saw today, he was impressive for what his role is going to be. It's not like he was better than Zoom Diallo or Alex Wilkins, because he's not a better player than them. But for the role that he's expected to be, I thought he looked better than what I was expecting. So yeah, big shout to Jerome Morton, the GRC alum. He looked really good out there, and he's a talker too. That guy likes to talk, whether it's trash talk, pumping up his teammates. There's a few talkers on the team, and Jerome is definitely one of them.
And Mason Williams, the other one. In the fraction of what I got to see today, I think as soon as we walked in, Jerome scored, and then Mason Williams scored, as you mentioned, their teammates for the blue team. And even Matt looked at me like, that's not Zoom and Alex Wilkins. What did we just walk into? It's like in the portion that we saw, they did look really good. And the trash talk, you're dead on with that. Mason Williams especially. We saw this at TBT when he's on with Chalmers. This is a true freshman who kind of doesn't seem to shut up really in a good way. It's a guy you want to have on your team. But I've been impressed. A guy that I thought might, bright lights get to him, maybe intimidate a little. He was top 100, barely recruit. Played big high school games for sure, but not a typical true freshman coming in, sticking his chest out and taking it to whoever on the court. So both of the backup guards were my big standouts in what little I saw. And then in reading your all's report, being there the whole day, that seemed to be the case for everyone. The other big news was the injury reports. So to go down the list, Trent Noah was in a practice jersey, but never really did much of anything, right? He did nothing when I was there.
I don't think I saw him do anything. It was kind of hard because they had, front court guys on one side, back court guys on one side. So you had kind of to alternate who you were watching, but I don't remember him so much as even shooting a basketball. And I think there was some reports maybe a couple weeks ago that he was dealing with a hamstring issue. So maybe that was still lingering a little bit, but yeah, he had the practice jersey on, but I don't remember him actually doing anything out there, unless maybe you saw something when I was looking away, but I don't remember much of anything from him.
He just stood on the baseline the whole time we were there. He looks jacked. I can see that he's gained weight and added some strength, but I didn't see him actually do anything physical.
Yeah, he looks much different. A 180 different compared to freshman Trent Noah, who definitely needed to shed some of the high school weight. He's done that really well. So hopefully the injury is just a kind of a minor thing, and it was a precaution to just hold him out today. So no Trent. No, we had Cam in a boot as expected. Mm-hmm. He sat with Leanne hanging
Pope
out with
all
Leanne.
day. Yeah, that's fine. Neither one of those really that big of news. So the big news was Big Frank. Big Frank, not 100% participant from what I could tell, but did a lot more than I thought he had been doing lately. I don't know when he actually returned to the court, but it had to have been recent. But I was surprised to see Big Frank out there, and that was other than the backup guards looking so good, that was my big takeaway. Is Frank's close to being all the way in.
Yeah, he didn't have a practice jersey on, but he did, like you said, he did a lot of the running drills. He did some one-on-one stuff as well. I don't remember if he did any of the 3-on-3 drills or anything like that, but there's a clip I posted on Twitter of all the big guys shooting threes. And my man Frank has a nice little shot on him. He was hitting some threes. I was like, oh my gosh, if this guy can step out and knock down some shots. But with Big Frank, he's played so much college basketball. He's been doing this for so long that there's just no reason really to try and push him. To play these 5-on-5. There's no reason to risk him getting hurt. I joked on the rapid reaction that I'm sure his knees were already burning like hell just from doing all that stuff today. Like that's just going to be what it is for him, like he's just been through this his whole basically college career. But it was awesome to actually see him out there. He's as big as you expect him to be. Had some, I think there was some one-on-one drills where he was looking, productive and efficient. And you can see where a world where he fills in as the backup 5 and he's a good solid, rotation piece behind Malachi Moreno. So it was nice to see him out there. That was a little bit of a surprise because when I saw him without the practice jersey, I didn't think he would do anything. And then for him to actually go out there and do a little bit of it was very promising for, the long term of the, because he's got to play the whole season. You need him for most of the next season as that backup. So that was nice to see for sure.
Tyler, do we know if Steven's able? We have our 5-minute highlights.
Ooh, that'd be
uploaded to
fun.
YouTube. Maybe we could just play a few minutes of it. I don't know if that's too much work. I know he's busy behind the scenes, but Steven, if you're able, we'll watch some highlights. While we wait to see if he can pull those off. Tyler, did you have any takeaways from what you saw online?
Yeah, just what you all were talking about with the guards, Jerome Morton and Mason Williams. Obviously, Kentucky's been impacted by injuries the past 2 seasons, so we know Zoom Diallo and Alex Wilkins are good. And I still think it's important, those guys may not have stolen the spotlight like Morton and Williams did today, but they are the starting guards. There's there's no confusion about it. I know some people got a little worried when they saw Diallo and Wilkins had the most turnovers on that board. On the winners board, there's like the winners count and then there's the turnover count, but they're handling the ball the most. So that's to be expected. Expected. But yeah, hearing the backup guards are good is comforting to me because we don't know if there's going to be another injury. And if there is, it sounds like Kentucky has 2 solid point guards, especially Morton, who has so much experience back there. They won't have to shift someone over like, Denzel Aberdeen. I mean, Alex Wilkins played point guard last year at Furman, but it sounds like the backcourt has solid depth, which was the most reassuring thing to me.
Yeah, when I was there, I didn't really see much of either Zoom or Wilkins. I'm not trying to ignore them and act like the other guys were much better. They literally didn't do anything when I was there. I did think Alex Wilkins looked pretty thin, but man, he's a bucket. I saw the clips. That step back 3 hit. Of course, there's the one that was viral a week or 2 ago. I'm excited to see him as a scorer, but when I was there, I didn't get to see much of either of them. Braden Hawthorne made some plays. That's a guy that's kind of been debated all year of what he can become. Some more skeptical than others. I don't know who posted it, but got a little bit of a dunk on Big Frank and a little one-on-one drill inside. So that's big for him. Saw him hit a 3. Did you get to see much of him, Zach, while you were there? Keep any eyes on him?
Yeah, I mean, he looks still like a little bit of a project piece, but I think he's probably twice as strong as he was this time last year. But maybe, on that point, he probably still needs to get he needs to do that again, like get twice as big once again, because he's obviously he's so much stronger. Like you can just look at his arms; he's much stronger than last year, but he's still a little bit thin. But he looks more physically matured, so I think that's a big step up. He looks a little bit more confident with the ball, maybe a little bit too confident at times. There was a couple instances where it felt like he just kind of drove traffic without much of an idea of what he was doing. But he's tall, he's long, he can shoot the ball. Like you can, and if Cam's going to continue to sit on the sidelines with his injury, then there's going to be a spot to fill there. So Braden can definitely take that up. I want to talk about Zoom and Alex for just another minute because we've hyped up Jerome Morton and Mason Williams, and I have so much stock in Mason Williams right now that I will never get rid of it at this point. Like he only gets better. It feels like from everything I saw when I watched him. I watched that game against Prolific Prep from back in the winter when he was better than Caleb Holt and Bruce Branch and Nas Anderson, all these other guys. Like he was better than them. That was the first moment I was like, okay, he can be a star. But Zoom just had too many turnovers, I think, was the issue, and that's what people are kind of focusing on. Like there was some bad turnovers where he's just losing the ball, getting sped up a little too bit. But there was one clip, I forget who posted it on Twitter, where he like maybe did like a ball fake and then went to the baseline and threw like a one-handed skip pass over to Alex Wilkins and on the wing there. And I was like, oh, okay, now that's the vision right there. You see it with them. So, I thought Zoom was solid. Alex, you can see it all there. It's like there's a little bit of Rob Dillingham in his game. Those two guys probably didn't have their best practice, but I'm trying to think of this through the lens of this is just the one practice. And there's other reports that say that Zoom and Alex have been good this summer, so I'm not going to read too much into that. But Alex is fun. He's fun to watch. Even when the ball doesn't go in, he's fun to watch. And he was also the last guy on the floor. Like after practice wrapped up, he stayed until they kicked me out and was out there getting up shots. So But like if I can continue rambling on here a bit, I wanted like Milan. I thought was good. I thought Milan looked good. I thought Malachi looked good. So I was happy to see both of those things. The one thing I'm leaving practice a little bit worried about is the 4 spot, and I don't think that's like a uncommon theme throughout the fan base right now. Is just Justin McBride and Usman Njai. There's probably a little bit more that's needed there from either one of them, or whether, it might not be a coincidence that Mark Pope is looking at all these these fours in the transfer portal or whatever the hell it is right now, like just the open market essentially. So those two guys, like they both showed flashes today, but that was it. They just showed flashes. So, and that kind of tracks with what we've heard throughout the summer. So that spot does feel like it needs maybe a little bit of a boost, whether it's one of those two guys really emerging and breaking out, like Justin McBride missed some time due to an illness over the summer. So maybe he just needs a little bit more time to settle in and stuff. But you can see, like, it's no coincidence that Mark Pope's going, like, or Kentucky is looking at some of these other guys. So it's not that neither of those guys are bad. I just don't think either of them is the clear-cut starter right now. And that's one of the things that maybe gave me a little bit of pause when I was leaving.
Well, moving on to that. Yeah, McBride missed a good chunk of the summer because he was ill. Yeah, so maybe he's
like
still
2 weeks,
up.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
You mentioned still adding. I guess we're just waiting to see what courts decide about certain players, but we keep hearing the name Jackson Kohler from Michigan State, Mark Mitchell from Missouri, even Keyshawn Hall from Auburn, Cade Tyson from Minnesota as potential adds. If you've been paying attention, you've heard those names the most. If you had to pick from the group, do you all have a favorite that you'd like to add?
Probably most familiar with Mitchell, so I would add him. He seems like a sure bucket getter.
It feels like he scored 200 points against us.
That's a name we should know really well because he's really good against us. It just feels like, there's so much uncertainty. When is it going to be certain? When are we going to have an answer on if these guys, if they're already in the portal, if they entered the portal before their eligibility was up, it sounds like they're fine to join whatever roster they want. But the guys that weren't in the portal, like Mitchell, what's the NCAA going to do there? They already came out, was it yesterday or the day before, and said that if a school adds a kid that was not in the portal before their eligibility was up, they'd get a really bad penalty. I think it was like the coach would be suspended for half of the season, and there was a financial penalty and all this. So they need to figure all this out. And it sounds like Pope and his staff have done their research so that when it is figured out, if it is approved, that they can just move ahead with it. But it feels like we're just in this weird limbo, and counting on the NCAA to do anything right and in a timely manner seems like a bad gamble. So I don't know. It feels like we're in an odd holding pattern.
In the dream world, and all this works out, I would love to have Kohler or Mitchell. I'd take the others just to have more help. Kohler seems like the perfect Mark Pope forward. He's even from near BYU, right? And Pope recruited him, has that background in Utah. They have that connection. But also, I said 200 points. I did the math. Mark Mitchell has played Kentucky 3 times, and he scored 75 points, 25 points a game.
Oh, my God.
He had 32 in that SEC tournament last year when Kentucky was up big at the half, and then Missouri just wouldn't die. He felt like he was going to bring him back. And even in Rupp Arena, they got us in that one. Missouri went on like a 15-2 run to come back and win. So I think Kohler would be a better fit, but Mitchell just gets buckets, Zach. So I would be happy with either of them if any of this actually works out.
Yeah, I would absolutely take both. I like Mitchell just because I think he's more talented. But like I'm totally fine with the argument that Kohler fits better. I just think they need just an upgrade there. The rebounding I still think is maybe a tiny bit of an issue as well. So either of those guys can be able to come in and fit that. Kohler probably fits that a little bit better as a rebounder. I think they need a little bit more, a guy that you can rely on to go out and get six to 8 rebounds a game or something like that. I think either of those guys can do that. Not a huge Keyshawn Hall fan, getting suspended at Auburn, kind of, he's been to 4 colleges in 4 years. He was at 3 high schools in 4 years. All that stuff kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And I don't think you need any sort of volatility like that thrown into the roster. So, but I would take Kohler or Mark Mitchell immediately. I think either of those guys would be awesome. But yeah, it's like every day a new judge is coming out saying that everything the NCAA said the day before is wrong and doesn't matter. So who knows how all of this is going to play out. But honestly, I'll be shocked if all of these guys that were seniors last year, if they want to play college basketball this coming season, I'll be shocked if they're not all allowed to at this point, or at least 95% of them. It just seems like we're trending towards that way. It's just a matter of when and how difficult are these hurdles going to be to get there.
Good for Denzel Aberdeen in Florida. I couldn't believe when he re-entered the portal and transferred. It's like, what are you doing? Of course that's not going to work. I mean, I guess
It was a funny headline when that one broke.
Yeah. I mean, I never at all thought that would work out. Never even considered him part of their team. And looking like he'll get to play, but we'll see. It's chaos. I feel like I'm going to be 70 years old, and they're still going to be figuring out how to get all this under control.
Makai Ziegler will still be suing the NCAA.
Yes.
Yeah, that one seems ridiculous. Like he's like multiple years removed at this point, buddy. Like you're long gone.
He doesn't even want to play. He just wants $12 million for what he could have made had he played last year. It's like, man, just you're playing professional in Europe. Just enjoy it. Like, give up.
Who knows? It might end up working as chaotic as this is. He might end up getting it. Let's knock out some board questions. BBN Pugs. Gordon Williams or Zoom Wilkins? Zoom Wilkins.
Yeah.
But I think we can be
they're more talented.
Proud of how the backcourt, the new guys have developed and fit in so far.
I think
if you had any concerns about depth, it's looking a little better than maybe it looked on paper a few months ago.
I liked what I heard about Zoom, his leadership today. It sounds like he asserted himself clearly as the leader. We had heard that all summer from every practice report and everything. It sounds like his leadership is there. He was loud. I think after one play, I remember Jack wrote that he yelled a curse word really loud. So like he's a competitive dude, and that's what you need. That's what you need running your team.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that about Zoom, but the guy talks. He's another one of these talkers. Really, I mean, hates losing. You can tell he hates losing more than, I mean, he was getting upset losing drills. Like there was a 3-on-3 drill where like Pope stopped it and he was upset about, like, he wants everything to he just wants to play basketball is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Zoom and Alex are just more talented. I think the reason, at least for me, the reason I'm so excited about Mason and Jerome Morton is I was unsure about either of those guys and what sort of, how much is the point guard depth has been the issue the last 2 seasons. And now I feel just so much better about it. I still think Zoom and Alex are going to be great together. Like the play I mentioned earlier was just kind of evidence of that, of Zoom driving and kicking to Alex for 3. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of that. Zoom will get himself under control eventually, or at least a little bit more. He doesn't have to be perfectly clean every game, but the buzz surrounding Mason and Jerome isn't because we think they're better in Zoom and Alex. It's because, okay, I feel really good that you can bring both those guys in for 12 minutes a game each and nothing's going to fall apart. Like, worst case scenario, Alex Wilkins misses a couple games to an ankle injury, throw in either of Mason or Jerome, and I don't think there's going to be a massive drop off, or at least you still feel like you could be competitive in the backcourt. So that's where my buzz for those two is really coming from. But honestly, Mason Williams is awesome. All at the same time, like that kid's going to be really, really good sooner rather than later. And hopefully it might actually be as soon as this coming season. And if it gets to the point where he's pushing those guys for minutes, that's only a good thing for this team. So I'm all in on the Mason Williams hype. That kid is going to be a star soon.
Coming from a lifelong Mo Williams fan, I'm happy that Mason Williams is not letting you down. Yeah, a generational Williams fan over here. Let's get to the next one. Why was Matt so far ahead of Drew Frankel on the walk to Rupp this morning? Well, there's like a balance. Mario is never in a hurry, ever. Like there's times where Matt's like, "Are you moving in slow motion?" I mean, he'll say that once a week. So on one hand, Mario is way in the back, and on the other hand, Matt is close to sprinting. But Mario's trying to do some content with me, so I did like an in between. Mario way in the back, Matt way in the front. The better video would be the gap between Matt and Mario. Because we actually got back, and Matt got tired of waiting for him at the elevator. So Matt and I went up. That's how far behind Mario was on the way back. But to answer your question, I was trying to stay with both parties. One at the speed of snail, and then Matt in a full sprint. Also, Matt in traffic, he doesn't care. I mean, they're just cars coming. He's like, "Oh, they'll stop." So Matt's also just walking out into traffic. I'm more of a crosswalk guy. I'm not a complete rule follower, but they took the time to paint the lines, and I just I thought I'd
That's
go
well
to
used.
wait for maybe a red light going that way to go. But Matt was more of I bet I could hurdle this truck if I needed to. So we're just 3 degrees of travel getting over there this morning. But thanks for noticing. 812 True Blue. Is that a real number? I don't know.
We should
I'm gonna call
and
it
find
later.
out.
Let's see what 812 area code is real quick. 812 area code. Southern third of Indiana. Evansville.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe that
Order.
actually exists. I already lost the question. What was it about shells at practice? This would have been a good one for Nick Roush. I don't know. I wasn't there. Have we seen photos?
Steven would
Let's
know.
go to that one.
Yeah, Steven, you could probably chime in.
Steven, they have helmets and shoulder pads on?
It looks like they did.
Yes, they did.
All right. There we
Okay.
go. There you go.
All right.
812 True Blue.
Are we allowed to say that much?
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. Jeff Drummond.
Steven
was
said
there.
it,
He
not
just-
us. Oh, yeah.
Well, Jeff Drummond just commented shells. He was there. Jeff was there.
Okay.
Bad boy Jeff over on the board earlier. Check that out. In there, ask, is Will Stein the type of personality to be salty that Pope called an impromptu open practice on the same day as football starting fall camp? I don't know that he'd be salty. I guess it is odd that, this is football's first day. It's supposed to be all about them, and Pope scheduled that. But I don't know if those seem pretty spontaneous on Pope's end. I don't know when he decided to do it. I don't think it was truly a surprise because they had staff there.
No.
But it seemed like it just popped up. I don't know. I don't know that Stein's salty.
There's room enough for both teams to practice on the same day. I mean, what headlines were we going to get from football's open practice? Because we can't really talk about it, right? So I would think that Pope and Stein are both the type of people who can share the spotlight. So, but it
No
was
one's the same
interesting.
time
that-
either.
I think it was Maggie who tweeted, I guess it was a parking receipt or some kind of receipt, and it was from the Rep Arena Central Bank Center and had UK open practice on it. So there had to have been enough notice for them to put that in, right?
A little
So-
birdie told me that this had been planned. So
Yeah, the
Don't
radio
take
show.
away the dream.
The radio show asked yesterday if we could do the show there, so it was a surprise. Mostly, I mean, they had to get people to work the door. They literally can't just go to Rep Arena.
they had a whole
and
security
say-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that had to be set up. I mean, Pope, I know he wanted to think that he just propped open the high street door and said, everybody come on in. But I think there are rules at Rep Arena. So they were staffed. But it was decided quickly, I assume. But back to the original
It was
point,
news to me.
I don't know that they were upset. I wouldn't think so.
Nah.
One was in the morning, one was in the afternoon.
Exactly.
Plenty of love
good-
to go around.
It's a good start for the J-Bat era. Just both sides having excitement on the same day. Got any more questions? Is there anything besides simply winning basketball games that Mark Pope can do to ensure he keeps his job?
Save a baby from a burning building.
I
think
thought
he's
about
gonna
this
win.
hypothetical because, I mean, so say they don't get to the second round of the NCAA tournament, but say he gets one of the top recruits in the 2027 class. You already got Ryan Hampton, but say he lands somebody even bigger. I'm not saying I don't know anything like that, but say he does enough work in the recruiting class, the high school recruiting class, that you could make a case. That's the only option I could think of that may make them reconsider bringing him back.
Yeah, I have no idea what J-Bat thinks of him, but if you're Mark Pope, a new AD won't help your case, whatever J-Bat thinks of him. Bat could be a guy that wants to bring in his own dude and wants to be quick to make a stamp, or maybe he believes in him. We have no idea what's going on between his ears, but I know if Barnhart were still here, it would help his chances a little bit, being the guy that hired him. But as far as what he actually has to do, we're all speculating, but we know we need to win more games and get back to dominating.
Back
What's,
to the weekend in Nashville.
Can't
Please.
wait.
I saw the Bang This Twins yesterday. It made me
It's a
think of
sign.
you all. And yeah,
It's a
they
sign.
live in my neighborhood, so I see them out and about often. But it's really weird when I see them in the grocery store and they're just dressed like normal people because you're so used to seeing them dressed in their little get-ups with the matching outfits and the hats. And so, but they were dressed to the nines yesterday, walking around Nashville in 95-degree weather in jeans and cowboy hats.
I went to Nashville for a night in June and I ran into them and we took a picture and they wanted the picture. So they had me add them on Facebook. So I sent it there. And then Georgia's in the lobby of this hotel, and they're asking me if I can fix their Facebook. So it's 2 a.m. I have one eye open. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know the problem. I don't know what to tell you. I finally gave up. But now they message me on Facebook all the time.
You're a lucky man.
I used to be out on Facebook. I'd get on it once a week, just not that interested. Now I feel like I need to check every hour to see if they need me.
They're great.
Maybe they're a sign of what's to come getting us back in Nashville. But thanks for another fun show. Thank you to LG&E KU for powering Happy Hour, Country Boy Brewing for powering Tyler through that hour, and Parlor Pizza and Pints. Parlor Pizza and Pints. Check them out. We'll see you all next week. Plenty more to come. Go watch those highlights. They're up right now. Don't even leave YouTube. We're going to end this, and maybe it'll just start playing. I don't know how that works, but go watch it. Go Cats.